flow is a very powerful concept, psychological concept. I will not describe what is flow. I expect whoever is listening, he should know about flow. He should just search on Google about flow, and if possible, read the book from Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. A very complex name to spell, but just write flow in Google and Mihai, Mihaly, then you will get it. Here, what I want to cover is that how can flow be achieved sometimes by accident. Flow can also be achieved by design. This is something I will cover in my second audio note because otherwise it will become very long. But here I want to give three examples to demonstrate how flow can be achieved by accident. But whatever is achieved by accident is evanescent. It is not sustainable, right? Even the flow that is achieved by design is there is no guarantee that that is sustainable. But let me just describe these three examples. One of these three is my own personal example. But first, a very common, very popular historical example of Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence of Arabia, there is a movie. People, if interested, can watch that movie, but it's based on a real character, Lawrence of Arabia. He was a British police officer or a military officer who was given sort of a punishment posting to somewhere in Saudi Arabia, somewhere in Arabia, because that was a punishment posting and he was not considered or regarded highly by his peers and superiors. However, when he went into that situation, whatever conflict was going on in that region, in the Arabic Arabia region, he became a hero actually. And whatever judgments, he took very unconventional judgments of the military related judgments, and his judgments became successful and they ended up winning that battle. So he was regarded as a hero, and which is why a movie has been made today. How come a person who was not considered to be very, very competent in Britain became so damn like a hero in Arabia? My own theory here is if you watch that movie, my own theory is this is an accidental flow. An accidental flow typically happens when we happen to make certain choices which are difficult, which are heroic. Heroic and difficult as are synonymous, meaning when you end up taking the road less traveled. So when you do something which is a very difficult, when you take a decision which is very, very difficult and it turns out to be successful, then your self esteem increases a lot. Your motivation increases a lot. Your mind becomes elevated, almost like you get on a high. And then, if two, three times this thing gets repeated, then a great vicious, not vicious, virtuous cycle, virtuous feedback mechanism or a loop is created, and all your judgments become progressively more and more successful. And you come in a state of flow. This is the basic funda. First decision that you took was like out of your comfort zone, something which was very, very heroic, very, very difficult, totally against what others were saying. It became successful. You took two, three such decisions, became successful, and then you entered the state of accidental flow, meaning all your decisions, everything, your mind is working at its optimal peak state, right? That is the accidental flow. This is the mechanism. Let me give you now a personal example. This was when I was doing my MBA and I got selected in McKinsey, and I had an amazing interviewing experience. Typically, McKinsey takes 6 interviews in the same day. They gave me an offer just after the fifth one, and the interviewers were so damn impressed. And I did mathematical calculations. They challenge you on everything: problem solving, concepts, mathematics, etc. And I was able to quickly solve that. They were like totally taken aback, and they immediately are just as soon as the fifth interview ended, they did not even bother to get into the sixth interview, and they gave me an offer then and then. I got the first offer from of that placement season with McKinsey. If not the first, maybe second or third or fifth, maybe out of 700 people, right? I was very, very happy. Why did that happen? That was accidental flow. That was not sustainable flow. That was accidental flow. Why? Because after I had cleared the first round and I got a call for the second round for McKinsey, at the same time, I also got an interview call for the first round of Bain. And they were all visiting our INSEAD campus. Now I was in a dilemma whether to go to McKinsey second round, whether to go to Bain first round. Obviously, I will go to McKinsey second round because the probability of success conversion is higher. However, what to tell to Bain people? Because there is no guarantee I'll get successful in McKinsey. So, what to tell to Bain people? That was the dilemma. All of my friends advised me that you tell something lies to Bain. Don't tell them that you are rejecting them or you are prioritizing McKinsey over Bain. They will not like it. Don't tell that. Tell something else, that you're not feeling well. Can you postpone the interview? Something like that. But then I took a heroic decision. I said, no, I'll take a risk. I will not tell them a lie. I will tell them the truth. And I straight away told that I have a McKinsey second round. And they, to my surprise, immediately understood and they said, no problem, we will postpone our interview, we will wait. And then that decision and the successful result increased my self esteem, increased my trust on my judgment, gave me more motivation. I came in an alert state. I entered in that alert state. And then so in the first round, you do two interviews, which I had cracked, right, for McKinsey. Then in the second round, they do four interviews. So out of those four interviews, I cracked each one of the three. And as soon as the third interview ended, they gave me the offer then and then. I could see the shine in his eyes when he was talking to me, and when he just the partner made up his mind that he's the right candidate, I am the right candidate. So accidental flow. The third example is a negative example, which is lots of times you see while playing cricket, a cricketer, if he's suppose there is a ball that needs to be hit, the player is expected, or the right or the heroic thing to do is to come out and hit that ball aggressively. But the player ends up playing like Ravi Shastri, or player ends up playing non-heroically, defensively. And if two, three times that happens, something within that player gets killed. His self-esteem, his trust on his judgment, self-respect, these things get lessened and reduced. And as a result, slowly, slowly, if this happens two, three, four, five times, the performance starts declining. And the player cannot, he typically will get out on a loose ball or a rash shot or something else. You would have seen this a lot. I saw this once when Sachin Tendulkar was playing, and actually he got two, three reprieves. He basically got lifelines. There was a ball he hit, and the player, the fielder missed the catch. Two, three times it happened. He got a reprieve. Now, a player who has such a high self-respect like Sachin Tendulkar, he will not like this thing. It will feel to him as if he's living on a borrowed time. So he will not be able to play heroically because there is some guilt in his mind. As a result, his playing totally declined, his confidence declined, and he was just out with a rash shot or something like a half-hearted shot. And people are wondering why, despite getting three reprieves and lifelines, why he couldn't score a century. But I know that this is the reason. This is an example of uh, accidental negative example of flow. So let me just summarize. It's becoming a very long message. Accidental flow, I described how people can get in an accidental state of flow. This is again not sustainable. The mechanism is simple. First, you do something heroic that leads to a successful result. If it happens two, three times, then you get in a feedback loop, a virtuous feedback loop leading to the state of flow. Thank you.